Hey, welcome back to the Ashley Avis podcast. Today, I almost missed recording this episode because I have so much going on in my life right now. And you would know this if you've been watching my Instagram stories. Instagram stories is the place where I like to hang out, show some behind the scenes, show how busy I am, what's going on, and just share a little bit more about my lifestyle. So, today, I wanted to actually talk to you guys about Instagram stories and how you can use them in your overall strategy in order to get people to know you more, like you more, and trust you more to take you up on your offers. So, if you've been kind of lacking or not really knowing what to post on Instagram stories or why you should be posting to Instagram stories, or just I don't know, forgetting to do it, then this is a great episode for you because I'm going to be teaching you some tips, some do's, some don'ts, and then the kicker to making your stories really effective in helping you grow your business. So let's do it. All right, so just really quickly, what are stories? Stories are the videos or they can be images that do not get shared to your feed. Okay, they get shared to the stories part, which are usually shown at the top of your homepage. Or like you can click your profile picture and a little dial will show up around it and your story will come on after you click it. So this is content that is not shared to your feed and it does expire for after 24 hours after sharing it, unless you save it to highlight reel. Okay. So a lot of content creators will post to their stories and it plays a really key part in their overall Instagram strategy. So Instagram has this playing field, right? There's static posts, carousel posts, reels, lives, stories. I bet I'm missing one. And all of these are different areas of this app that is obviously no longer just a photo sharing app. There's video in there now too. And I think that video really came out and when stories came out. So there was like pictures to our feed, video stories, and now video has just exploded on the app. Am I right? So how does stories play? Like what role does stories play in our overall Instagram strategy? Well, if you're looking to grow and get in front of a whole bunch of new people, stories is not the way to go unless you're paying for ads. Stories actually connects us back to the people who are already following us. So if people have already said, "Yep, I found you. I found your profile. I love your content. I'm going to click follow." Then your Instagram stories is going to take that relationship one step further. It's the opportunity for you to go a little bit deeper because you're already speaking to people who know who you are and what you're all about and have agreed to follow you. So that means that stories can be a little grittier, a little more sharing a little more behind the scenes or your lifestyle, maybe get a little more detailed, deeper, more personal. Definitely less curated, which could mean for you that they're actually easier to create and share. So I've actually heard really great success stories of people not posting to their feed for weeks and only posting to their stories and still getting really great success in terms of their business growth, in terms of converting their followers into customers or clients. So keep that in mind. You do want to serve your current followers. I think posting content to your stories is a really great way to do that. So, here are some tips for getting started on Instagram stories if you're not already doing this, if you're not already consistent and posting to your stories on a weekly basis. So, some tips are: one, start with a goal to just share 15 seconds of your day. I say this a lot to my clients. Don't feel like you have to document your whole entire day. Just start by sharing 15 seconds of your day. Okay. You literally want to feel like, yes, you are documenting what you are doing. It shows that voyeuristic aspect or that behind the scenes aspect. If you're like, all right, I'm about to start this project, or I just finished this project, or I'm taking a break, or I'm off to do this now. Okay. You can To get you a little bit more relaxed in doing this, you can, if you're feeling like talking to the camera, I would say just pretend you're talking to a friend. Think of one friend that you love updating about your life or your day. For me, I often I don't know, I think about my sister because she's, I don't know, someone I text often throughout the day. And I'll think of her and I'm like, okay, I'm just updating her on what I'm doing right now, or what I just did for work today, or what I'm doing with my friends or family right now. And when you think about that one friend in mind, things just come out a lot more naturally and conversational, which is what you want. No need to be all prim, proper, professional, and stuffy in your stories. This is just real life. Feel free to let your personality come out. If you are thinking, oh my gosh, I suck on video, I really need some tips on how to boost my confidence before hitting record, I do just want to remind you that I do have a free resource, a training video on my website right now called the Video with Confidence Crash Course. If you go to ashley.avismarketing.com/free, you're going to see a list of free resources, and the Video with Confidence Crash Course is right there for you to watch today. And in there, I kind of talk about all the ways that I was able to boost my confidence in front of the camera. Because believe it or not, it's actually not my favorite place to be. Hence why I love podcasting so much. And I just want to let you know, practice does make perfect. I think that's like my final tip for how to make sure that you can get started with stories on the right foot is just start. There's no such thing as a perfect story. Okay, it's just a feeling like you post it and you just, the more you do it, the better you get. I promise. Now I'm going to move on to a couple of things that I don't want to see you do when it comes to Instagram stories, okay? Because some of these are pretty important. Some mistakes I've made or clients have made, or I just see some of you making out there on Instagram. So, the first thing I want you to do is to not post too many stories in one day. So, when I'm looking at your stories, I actually see these little tiny lines at the top of my screen, and they're separated by a little dash or a space. And that indicates to me how many stories you've actually posted. And as I tap the screen, I move forward to the next story. So if I'm watching your stories and you've posted 10, 15, 20 different stories, I might think, no, I'm just going to keep swiping. I don't have time to watch that many stories in order to catch myself up to whatever it is that that person is doing today. Keep that in mind. If your ideal customer or client does not have a lot of time on their hands, then they probably don't want to watch 20 different stories. Instead, what I recommend is having a goal of focus on a quality story over the quantity of stories that you have. So maybe you want to chop those 20 different 15-second clips down into 5 really good moments, okay? Or 5 really good things you want to say. If you're talking to the camera and you really want to communicate something, try and be short, sweet, and succinct. Again, in the Video with Confidence Crash Course, I tell you how to outline your video so that when you're communicating, like when you're actually talking to the camera and recording to your stories, it's very short, succinct, and it has an intentional purpose with a call to action at the end. Cool? So, another don't I want you to do is don't forget to let your stories expire before posting a big one, maybe like a big announcement or something that you really want everybody to see. So, what I mean by that is, say you're posting stories today and you stop posting to your stories at 4 p.m. At 4 p.m. tomorrow, all of your stories will expire and you will have no other stories. So it's just going to be fresh. The first story that you post is going to get a lot more views. Okay. So if I had a launch coming up and I had a new product or a new offer that I wanted everyone to see, I would strategically make sure that I stop posting at a certain time the day before to my stories, or even take a day off of stories before posting again about my new offer, and that will increase the views. Another don't that I have for you is to don't use those really funky beauty enhancing filters that are out there. There are some fun filters that are really creative, that add like the ears and the dog nose or the glitter and stuff like that and the rainbows. I'm a fan of those. I think, wow, be as creative as you want. But if you're like having a down day and your hair's a bit of a mess and you didn't put your makeup on yet, If you go for one of those beauty enhancing filters that gives you twice as long eyelashes or a pouty lip, I don't know. I feel like those are not very popular right now, or people can notice them right away and they feel like you've got something to hide. If we're out there to build the know, like, trust factor and be relatable, I say either show up with confidence the way you are without that filter, or take some time to self care. Do what you want to do that day. And maybe that's a day where you're not comfortable showing up on your stories, and that's okay. Nobody is making you. Another don't forget to have fun. Okay. If you are a brand that wants to be known for happiness, joy, humor, excitement, and fun and exciting things, then highlight that. Don't forget to have fun and be silly and infuse your personality into that stuff. Don't hold back, I guess is what I'm saying. I want to see the real you on Instagram stories. And then I'm going to say this again. I said it before. Don't worry about making them perfect, because practice is going to make perfect. And there really isn't actually a perfect. I think I just messed that up there. There's no such thing as perfect in a story. Okay. You don't want it to be. There's no pressure for it to be like exactly perfect. Okay. Actually, mistakes or saying, or making a funny typo, it just shows that you're human. Okay. And if you want some proof, make sure you look at my stories often, because I make mistakes, but I just keep going because I don't have time to record and record and re record. And it just kind of takes me out of the moment when I do that too. It takes the excitement of the idea I want to share away. Okay. So don't worry about them being perfect. So if you're like, okay, Ash, I love all this. I want to get started on my stories today, but I kind of need some ideas to get me inspired, motivated, and ready to go. Well, I've got some for you. I've actually organized them into a couple different categories for you. The first one are some lifestyle ideas. So, if you wanted to share and let people in a little bit more on who you are and how you live, you could post a couple things like, what does your to do list look like today? You could share with your followers what is everything you need to check off your to do list today. Or you could share what you're wearing today and why. Maybe you're dressed up to go somewhere. Maybe you're not. You're staying home behind your computer all day long, like me today. Or maybe you want to share what you're eating today and why. Maybe you've got the perfect lineup of meals. Maybe you're a foodie. Maybe you're going to go out and you're eating a certain way. I don't know. So those are all things that people are kind of wondering, like, well, what are you doing today and what are you wearing and maybe what are you eating? Those are just some examples of things that you could share today that would open up your lifestyle a little bit to your followers. Next category is education. You can steal some ideas from this if you're feeling like you really want to further educate your followers, your current followers, on something specific. I love doing a weekly Q&A with my followers, and I like to answer their questions about like a specific area of my work. So maybe each week I'll have a different topic or a theme I'm trying to educate people about, and I'll follow up in my stories with a Q&A if people have additional questions, and then I'll answer those stories as they come in, or answer those questions that I get in my stories as they come in. What you also could do is create a whole story educating people about a specific service or a product that you want to spotlight that week. Okay, you can show people maybe it's how to use your product or the benefits of booking this service. Okay, that's definitely something I would recommend, especially if you wanted to increase some sales. Okay, you could also do a staff highlight. If you've got a team, you could highlight a team member every week, invite them to come onto your stories, say hi, and tell your followers a little bit more about who they are and what they do. Another category that I've got is really great for people that have brick and mortars or really trying to attract a local community. Okay. So here is, I have this idea, like in this category, it's called location. I want you to go out and about in your community. Maybe you have an outing, a picnic, go to a park. Maybe you're going to a restaurant, a coffee shop, library, pool. And I want you to just share 15 seconds of you in your outing and then tag the location. If you're at a business, you can tag the business as well, and that will hopefully get you some reshares. It'll also help people realize and remember and visually validate that you are in their physical neighborhood. So, say if you are a personal trainer who trains one-on-one in person. You want to share a lot about the community and the neighborhood that you're in to really communicate to your following that, hey, I am from here. If you are from here, I can help you. And I feel like there is a very, very strong connections that's made immediately when you realize that one of your followers on Instagram is actually from your neighborhood. I've been posting some stories of my kids at the park, and I literally had someone message me saying, "Oh my gosh, I live across the street from that park. I walk my dog around there all the time." And instantly I felt so much more connected to her, and I'm sure she felt the same way about me because, hey neighbor, we're neighbors. The last category that I want to share is more of a community aspect, okay? So in this category, I love to do this story idea. Let me give it to you now, okay? So what I like to do is think about everybody that I've been following for the week. And then I want to think of what are the posts that really stood out to me that I really liked. And then I want to think of my top 5 or maybe even just my top 3. And I want to go to their profiles, find that post that really stood out for me and share it to my stories. And maybe before that, I'll post like the top 5 people I loved to follow this week and why. I'll share one of their posts to my stories. I will tag them so that they see that I've shared their post. And then I'll add a little bit of text on there saying why I love that post this week. I consider that like sharing the love type of a post and like to do those types of things on the weekend because it does help, helps your community shine some light on other people that are inspiring you. And I feel that the more you do it, the more people are likely to actually share your content too and appreciate you. All right. So, those are some ideas for sharing some behind the scenes of your lifestyle, some further education, some location ideas, and things to build the community. Now, if you want your stories to really stand out and really hold a strategic part of your overall strategy, then here's the kicker for Instagram, okay? Just sharing a video of you talking or just sharing an image or a snapshot of what you're up to, it's good. But if you want your strategy to be better, I want to help you take your stories up a notch. Instagram actually is making it really, really easy for us to do this, okay? And this is not a new thing. Using Instagram story stickers will dramatically increase your engagement over time. Okay, if you're consistent with them. So, what I mean by that is in the stories feature, if you scroll up or scroll down, you're going to see options to add a sticker. And I love these ones here. I love the question sticker. I love the poll. I love the quiz. Okay, because these are ones that people can engage with. They can select this, type in a question, select that, and they're participating and engaging with you in stories. A tip here, like I've had clients or in my like social media coaching program who started adding stickers to their stories, and in their first week or so they were pretty discouraged because people weren't responding right away. No one asked me a question on my weekly Q&A, or no one responded to my quiz or my poll. Well, what I say to that is you need to be consistent and it's going to take some time because we're getting our followers used to engaging with us in this way. It's almost like we're training them on how to engage with us. So maybe it's something new for you. Guess what then? It's new for them. I think maybe you could look at your stories and your stickers, see if you can make them a little easier for people to respond to. Like instead of asking a really big open ended question on a question sticker, you could just ask a yes or no question. Or something really simple that it wouldn't take a lot of brain power for someone to come up with the answer. Okay. I like that. If you're doing a poll, instead of having 4 or 5 different options, maybe just 1 or 2. I mean, 2 or 3. I hope this helps you guys. I really do. Make sure someone is responding to your engagement stickers in your stories, that you are following up with people. You are answering their question that they ask, or you are thanking them for participating in a poll or a quiz. Okay, you can find that out by going to your story insights, scrolling up and seeing who has actually engaged with you. So that was my short and sweet episode today, all about Instagram stories. I really hope it makes you feel a lot more comfortable hitting record and showing up on your stories today. I hope it gave you some ideas too. So I have a question. No, more of like a favor to ask you. Today on your Instagram stories, how about you take a little video of you listening to this episode or screenshot on your phone right now that you are listening, share it to your stories, and tag me at Ashley Avis Co. on Instagram. That's at Ashley Avis Co. And I'll share it too. And I appreciate it when you do that because it just helps this podcast grow. It helps me realize who is actually listening so that when I record my next episode, I've got you in mind. That's it for today, guys. Until next Tuesday, you got this.